The robotic exploration of our solar system started with the moon landing of the Russian Luna 2 probe in 1959. Mars had to wait until 1976 for the American Viking probes to land, and the first rover arrived in 1997. We choose Mars because it is a rocky planet, not unlike and not too far from our own. It doesn't try to kill us like Venus does, which means that humans could eventually live there. But before we can go to Mars, we need to know more about it, so we send rovers. Their mission is to assess past, present and future habitability of Mars. Life as we know it requires oxygen, heat and water. We need to go to the surface and look for those. 3 generations of rovers have made it to the surface of Mars so far. The Mars Pathfinder spacecraft landed on the 4th of July in 1997. Most of the intelligence of this mission was in the lander, including cameras, communication equipment and various scientific instruments, but it also carried a little rover called Sojourner. The Sojourner rover was an engineering test. It carried one instrument, an alpha particle X-ray spectrometer. The rover can put that against a rock to be able to tell what the rock is made of. It has 6 wheels which are put on a rocker bogie suspension. The Sojourner rover has only a tiny antenna and cannot directly communicate to anything but its base station and had to remain close to it. 3 months in the mission the base station died. The rover was programmed to return to it should it ever lose contact and is probably there now. After a few years, NASA asked the science community to come with proposals. Steve Squires proposed many missions. Eventually he got lucky when he proposed the Mars exploration rovers. NASA liked it so much they asked 2 rovers. Unlike their predecessor, the Mars exploration rovers are equipped with color-capable cameras, several spectrometers, a microscopic imager and a rock abrasion tool. Both rovers were designed to last 90 days. NASA tries to protect those areas where Martian life may exist today, so rovers aren't sent there. As they need safe landing locations for the proven airbag system, a large landing area had to be found. The Spirit rover landed on January 4 of 2004 in Gusev crater. Scientists believe Gusev was once filled with water, so they hope to find evidence of water activity. Instead they found basalt, a boring volcanic type of rock. Spirit moved towards the Columbia Hills named after the doomed space shuttle. After stopping briefly at several craters along the way, Spirit climbed to the summit of a hill named after astronaut Rick Husband, where she made several scientific discoveries. Eventually Spirit started to show signs of aging and got stuck exploring a location called Home Plate, where she sank into the ground and was unable to free herself with only 4 out of her 6 wheels working. She stopped responding on the 22nd of March 2010. Upon receiving the first pictures from Opportunity, the scientists saw a layered outcrop pretty much like they had expected to find at Gusev. The rover had managed to roll into a crater later called Eagle Crater after the golf term for a hole-in-one. Opportunity found little spirals which turned out to be made of hematite, a mineral that usually forms in the presence of water. She set out on a trek almost 35 kilometers long to Endeavour Crater, where she is still performing scientific discoveries. Opportunity investigated craters like Victoria Crater, where the Christian spectrometer aboard the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter had detected water-bearing minerals. By measuring radio signals, wobbles in Mars rotation may indicate a solid or liquid interior. On November 26 of 2011, NASA launched the Mars Science Laboratory with its rover Curiosity to investigate Mars habitability, its climate and geology, in preparation for manned missions to Mars. Curiosity was the first spacecraft whose construction could be followed on a live webcam. About once a day, members of the Jet Propulsion Laboratory social media team were available to answer questions. It was called the Curiosity Cam and it was a big success. The rover houses instruments ranging from weather stations, microscopes, cameras and a laser to analyze the properties of the rocks and soil it encounters. By heating material into a plasma state, the structure of it is revealed by the color of light the plasma emits. Curiosity shot a hole in a tiny rock called Coronation, originally called N165. It also took several pictures of Mount Sharp, the mountain in the center of Gale Crater it is meant to climb. When it reaches Mount Sharp, Curiosity will investigate the soil and rocks in order to gather information that should prepare humanity for travel to the Red Planet. She will constantly measure radiation levels, which should help us develop adequate protection for the first human explorers.